Over is Fel Lord Kazuun. This fight is a bit more simple. It has two phases. Wake of Destruction is going to go out throughout the entire encounter. Where it comes from will vary on the phase that you're in. And Latent Energy is the debuff you get when you are hit by Wake of Destruction. And if you are hit again by Wake of Destruction, it will erupt and wipe your raid, doing fire damage to everyone. Yeah, this is pretty much the encounter mechanic that wipes your raid. So you'll see that happen, I'm sure, during your progression of this encounter. Phase 1, he has his big old axe on him. He'll do Soul Cleave to the tank, which will also give them Disembodied, which will, I believe, teleport them to somewhere and they do something. Not important, I don't know. It's a tank mechanic, we didn't get to see it, or I didn't get to see it. Cavitation is another, he does a swing, I believe, on the tank, and it will erupt in Wake of Destruction. This is the Wake of Destruction for Phase 1, and you have to avoid these shadow, I don't know what you want to call them, blades, the shadow blades that come out of the boss. Aside from that, Rumbling Fissure, they're basically void zones that have to be soaked up on the ground. There will be, I think, 3 or 4 of them, you'll see in the video. And they give you Latent Energy as well. And Latent Energy, again, you get hit by Wake of Destruction, you blow up. So if you want to soak, after 5 seconds you'll be given Latent Energy. You have to be careful to definitely avoid Wake of Destruction. Other debuff is another healing debuff, which is essentially you just receive less healing. It lasts for, I think, 40 seconds or so. We'll see in the video. That's Phase 1. It's pretty simple. After Phase 1 is over, he'll leap, he'll throw his axe down, and he'll be punching with 2 fists, so he attacks faster. Not a big thing here. Fel explosions will happen every 3 seconds, it says here. It's just basically the raid damage of the encounter, Phase 2 here. He'll go back and forth between Phase 1 and Phase 2. It's a time thing, so you'll have to deal with that. Healing. Fel crystals will spawn around the room. These crystals, essentially you have to protect them. If you stand too close to them, they will do damage to you. And if they get hit by the Wake of Destruction, which comes out of Seed of Destruction, they will explode, and that's basically Fel crystals have the Latent Energy debuff on them. So you don't want to hit them. Just like you don't want to be hit in Phase 1, you don't want the crystals hit in Phase 2. So you have to kind of protect them and soak the Wake of Destruction, or rather Seed of Destruction. And by that you get to control where these wakes come from in Phase 2. So if you have a seed on you, I think 5 targets get it, and you want to position yourself so you're not going to be close to these Fel crystals. And you want to have people designated to stand near and around, but not too close to the Fel crystal, to protect it from getting hit by the waves, shadow waves, or blades, or whatever you want to call it, that will be coming toward both players and the Fel crystal. Also in this phase, it's like a patchwork mechanic. The tank and off tank will be getting hit. So a lot of damage intake on this portion of the fight. You can't afford to have the Fel crystal being hit by the Seed of Destruction. You have to make sure you position yourself correctly. That's a raid wiper. Again, if you are targeted with this debuff and you don't handle it correctly, it is a raid wiper. And the last phase is essentially just both first and second phase combined into one. Again, this is the first 2 phases go back and forth until he reaches, I believe, 30%, and then he'll enrage and get super pissed. Anyway, let's see the encounter. I have to reload this. Saudi. FYI, the Wake of Destruction that comes out in first phase is attached to one of his casts. And you'll see here. Okay, first we're going to do these pools that have to be soaked up. After you soak them up, you will get that debuff. And no one's going to soak this one, so I believe I go get it. No, someone else went and got it, so great. After you soak that up, you get that debuff, that latent energy debuff, so you can't get hit after that. Right now, this debuff I have on me is the healing debuff, so I'm taking less healing. There it is. Here's the caviation. When he casts this, every time he casts this, he will do the wave, or rather wake. We have everyone stacked and ranged. They all went to the same place. Those are the Shadow Blade-like abilities you have to avoid. More pools to soak up. They are not immutable as far as we know, but they definitely can be damage reduced by, you know, utility defensive abilities. Soul Cleave is a tank swap ability. Tank goes wherever he goes, and then the other tank has aggro. Caviation again. Our rogue just soaked that for the raid. The tank also has to run out, and he also does a wake as well. He just threw his axe down, he went flying up in the air, coming back down, and we're in phase 2. Now that axe will be doing some explosions, everyone will be taking some raid damage here. A bit of raid damage here, not too much. The main mechanic is the seed. You just saw those seeds go off. You have to avoid those, especially if you have the latent energy. You will explode on the raid, no matter where you are. So when these seeds go out, it's extremely... See, everyone has those seeds in the raid. 1, 2, 3. I think there's 5 out, and they're positioning themselves away from the crystals. And there's people designated to protect the crystals from these waves that are coming outwards. My job as melee is pretty simple. I didn't have to do any of that stuff. I might have to soak here and there, but like right here I'm going to soak, but not the best perspective for this fight. People are still getting befouled. There's that crystal. You can see it now. We moved the boss away from the crystal on purpose so that range can just guard it, and you have the most room to get out with seed. You know, you have the most distance from the wake. Well, the melee just soaked that, so we protected the crystal right there. As long as you don't latent energy, that wave doesn't hit for much. And it doesn't give you the debuff, I believe, in this phase. The only thing in this phase I believe that gives you the debuff is soaking the pools, if I'm not mistaken. That's a tank swap ability right there, Soul Cleave. We're back in phase 1, by the way, if you guys didn't see that. Now we're going back to phase 2. The crystals are still down. And here comes the seeds. People running far away from the crystals so that they don't explode on them or near them, so they can easily be protected. That was a really good shot right there. You can really understand what I'm saying there. You can see the axe over here pulsing for damage. That raid damage coming in. Seeds going out again. Dodge, dodge, dodge. Protect the crystals. And we used the Warlock to just soak all the wakes so no one else had to dodge and move. It's pretty effective. Gotta soak up these fires. Is someone gonna get to it? Yeah, I conceded. I conceded. Even though I have the debuff that makes me take less healing, I conceded. Someone's got to do it. Back to phase 2. Protectoruni the crystals. Again, this is pretty boring. I did not have a lot of fun in this encounter. The caviation, I mean the wave or wake of destruction, you didn't have to even avoid as melee very much, except for when Seed of Corruption went out, and they're pretty easy to dodge, as you can see. I really don't have to move too much or worry about much. The damage intake I really couldn't prevent. I could have fainted. Other than that, there's really nothing to dodge or manipulate for melee here. Not very much anyway. Not on heroic. I had a little fun on this one. I got hit by one, I think. So there you go. I had some fun. I cheat death even right there. Look at that. So I'm a liar. And that was the big boom from someone not getting out of the raid with Seed of Corruption, or Seed of Destruction rather. So that's as far as we got in the fight, but you saw most of the mechanics. That's pretty much it. You have, when the boss gets to 30%, he does do all of those mechanics together, and you have to deal with that, as well as him hitting a bit harder. So I hope you guys learned something from that. Have a good one. Alright, well,